Hello everybody and welcome back to Max Sports Entertainment. My name is Deepak Shankar and here we're back with another recap, this time with the Women's T20 World Cup and big match between India and South Africa. And so, as always, the sports world, a lot of things going on. You got FIFA World Cup obviously going on in full swing. A lot of good games, quite a few draws. There was a good game between yesterday, Uruguay and Cape Verde, 2-2. And then, later today, you got Argentina and France playing, two powerhouses, the two teams that met in the final of the FIFA World Cup 4 years ago. And then Belgium not looking so great, but Spain looking much better. Lamine Yamal starting and it making a big impact, and them getting on the board with their first win. Egypt getting their first win ever in a World Cup. You got Norway playing later today as well. A lot of goalkeepers playing well. A lot of good sort of balance overall in terms of a lot of different things, low scoring games, high scoring games, different tactics, different styles of games being played. Obviously we covered the US versus Australia match in the last video, so that was great. And then the US plays Turkey on Thursday. And then a bunch of other results as well, but kind of along those same lines, falling into one of two categories, good or bad. So it's been a very interesting World Cup, great scenes all around the country, and as well as in Mexico and Canada for the matches, just with the fans and the great vibes and the partying and the cultures kind of meshing. So it's just been a great thing to see all around, even as, again, someone who's not the biggest soccer fan, but always good to see big events like that, people getting along, things like that. And then also, good matches being played on top of that. And then obviously you got the Women's T20 World Cup definitely in full swing now, nearing the end of the group stage, about one more week left. There was this match, Group A is a little bit more cut and dry in terms of you've got, India, South Africa, Australia kind of battling it out. 3 teams for 2 spots, that's pretty cut and dry. I mean, Bangladesh and Netherlands, Pakistan, they don't really have much of a chance at this point. Group B pretty much decided, but I think more interesting, where West Indies have made a statement, all around just great bowling, especially in terms of spin, leading them to 6 points. England primarily with their batting leading them to 6 points, and some fine bowling, and being the host country as well to their advantage. So those are the top 2 teams right now, both at 6 points. And then you have New Zealand, the defending T20 World Cup champions, at only 2 points. So they still have a chance, puncher's chance, but they really need pretty much everything to go their way at this point. They have to win their last 2 and then hope that, I believe it's, West Indies lose their last 2, and then they still have to win on net run rate. So they are just on a hope and a prayer at this point. So, not looking great for them. And then the rest of the teams in that group, not looking too good for them, or pretty much already eliminated. So, and West Indies beat Sri Lanka earlier in the day. And then otherwise, the results have been pretty standard, some pretty close games as well. You had, New Zealand edging out a win versus, I believe it was Ireland. And then West Indies, with a big match coming up with England on Wednesday. New Zealand, they won that match, but then they, lost one more as well. And then they lost to England and the West Indies, I believe. New Zealand, they lost to both England and the West Indies. West Indies, a close call against Scotland, but they were able to get the win there. Let me double check that actually. I think it was, where was it? England pretty comfortable win against Scotland by 38 runs. Bangladesh over Pakistan. Australia comfortable win over the Netherlands by 100 runs. New Zealand had a close call with Ireland. I mean, Ireland should have won that match. Actually, looking back on it, kind of choked towards the end, and New Zealand hung on to win by 4 runs. So there was that match. South Africa with a scare against Pakistan. Only had to chase 126 and then really got taken to the end and a couple of better fielding moments by Pakistan. Maybe they could have won that match, but South Africa ended up winning by 2 wickets in the end. England beating Ireland. Sri Lanka, that's who it was, beating New Zealand. That was quite the shocker. And then Sri Lanka also keeping it close with the West Indies as well. Same with the Women's T20 World Cup. Pretty much that same line of good combination of chalk in terms of favorites winning, but then also a lot of upsets happening too, a lot of unexpected results, which should lead to a great end of the tournament, like it has been throughout the tournament so far as well. West Indies beat New Zealand earlier in the tournament by 7 wickets. That was a close match. They've had a bunch of key contributors along the way. Very well-rounded team. Stephanie Taylor, Shemaine Campbell, and then, Affie Fletcher, Chanel Henry with the ball. So, this match, so to get back to it, India, South Africa. So, India put into bat first. And they start off really well in the power play. Shafali and Smriti Mandhana doing what they always do, getting India off to good starts. But they could not capitalize into bigger scores today. And despite the first 5 overs being good, but they both got out. Shafali for 31 and then Smriti for 17. And then the Indian innings kind of just faltered after that. The middle order, questions raised about that continue to be raised even more now, where they weren't able to put up a good enough total, especially given the start that they had, the platform that they were given. And so, you were thinking initially in the beginning of the innings, probably like a 170, 180 type of score, if not even more. The middle order kind of faltered, a little bit up and down. South Africa bowling really good line and lengths, good slower balls, bowling on the stumps. A lot of, the middle over batters for India. Yasti Gabardia 15, Jemi Rodriguez 12, Harmanpreet Kaur 24, Deepti Sharma 29, Richa Ghosh 15. So some decent knocks in there, but nothing that was truly game changing in terms of what India needed to really get that spark at the end of the innings or in the middle. And so, for South Africa, they bowled really well. Marzan Kapp 2 wickets, Shamin Ismail 2 wickets, and then those two led the way, and then the others as well, Malaba, Ayobanga Kaka, Nadine Leclerc, they all got 1 wicket. So all their economies were good, under 10, with the exception of Chloe Tryon, who had an economy of 11.5. But Shabnim Ismail coming out of retirement was huge for South Africa. Marzan Kapp, just doing what she does, very just feisty competitor. More often than not gets the job done, and she definitely did that today with the ball, and then definitely with the bat later, which we'll get into more. Nadine Leclerc, kind of that same mold of an all-rounder, although probably more so of a batting all-rounder, kind of their version of Richa Ghosh, especially in terms of being a finisher. Just a disappointing innings for India in the end. And they did get off to a good start in the second innings, took a couple of quick wickets. The run rate for South Africa wasn't good. The required run rate had jumped up in the, I think, 7th or 8th over to 10.5 runs and over that was required. Because, Laura Woolward got out for 20 off 21. And then Henry Dirksen 0. Sri Chatterjee bowled outstanding today. One of, if not the best player for India today. But with the partnership between one, to a lesser extent, Laura Woolward, and then Tasman Brits, and then in the end it was Tasman Brits and then Marzan Kapp with their partnership. So Marzan Kapp, well-deserved player of the match, 81 off 45, 7 fours, 4 sixes, just hit to all parts of the ground, showed all sorts of power, class, timing, every shot that you would look for, and she came through for South Africa in a big way. And because the others, Nadine Leclerc got bowled, only scored 5. Chloe Tryon chipped in a little bit at the end, but it definitely could have been dicey. And if she didn't have the innings she had, but she did get some help with Radha Yadav with 2 drop catches, a couple of missed fields for India. And partially that was also the difference as well. South Africa was pretty much flawless in the field in terms of taking catches, tough catches as well, and then also taking advantage in terms of not giving up extra runs. Their first extra came in the 18th over in terms of a wide. So they did all the little things that India did not do, and that was part of the reason they came out on top. They scored 161 for 4, won by 6 wickets with 5 balls left. And so, yeah, those drops hurt. Obviously, could have been a different game. You never know, especially during the first chance, if it was taken, but it was not, and that's the reality of it. And Mandhana and Kapp pretty much keep South Africa alive in this World Cup, because if they had lost, they were done. But now they have a chance where they have one more match left against, I believe it's Bangladesh, and then India. We have a match against Bangladesh, and then also we finish with Australia, which is the last group stage match before the knockout stages. So should be an interesting end. Obviously unfortunate for me, obviously as a Team India fan. Wish we could have gotten the W, but unfortunately did not. But again, not the end of the world. These things happen. South Africa's a good team. First time actually that South Africa and India have ever played each other in a T20 World Cup, which I thought was crazy. Crowd was really good today. Obviously, majority India supporters out there in Manchester. Sri Chuderney 3 wickets. She was really good. Shafali Verma 1 wicket. But yeah, overall just wasn't enough. And I think, if you're Team India, I think some adjustments to go forward. Obviously, it has been a spin-dominated tournament, but I think bringing back someone like Kranti Gaur into the side, just to be a spark plug, get wickets, especially early on in the power play, would be a good idea. Maybe changing up the batting order as well. It is kind of extreme, but if you had one of Shafali Verma or Smriti Mandhana bat at number 3 instead of both opening, and then maybe bring Harmanpreet up in the order, since her strike rate isn't always the best, but she provides a really good anchor role, and so her coming on earlier in the innings kind of gives her more of a runway to accelerate as the innings go on. And then I think, Richa Ghosh, got to keep her in the spot that she's in now. Same thing with Arundhati Reddy. And they could bring in Bharti Fulmali, some other changes they can make. So it'll be interesting to see how India plays it out, because I think they'll probably, if not for sure, beat Bangladesh. But it all pretty much now comes down to that South Africa match. They're going to have to beat them to get to the semifinals, and we'll see how that plays out, and go from there. And so some experimenting to do, some things to work on, iron out, but I think overall we're in good shape, and so just got to make a couple adjustments. Hats off to South Africa. It'll be a good race to see between India, South Africa, and Australia, which two of those teams in Group A advance to the semifinals. I mean, it's crazy with that group being so stacked that those 3 perennial contenders, one of them is going to miss out of the Final 4, and so we'll see how it goes. So yeah, it was a good match today in terms of the rematch of the 2025 ODI World Cup final, which India came out on top in, which was one of the great sporting memories of my life. First India women's World Cup win was great to see, it being at home as well in Mumbai. Shafali Verma with the bat and ball playing exceptional, and then obviously the match even before with the record run chase against Australia in the semifinals. So we'll see if India can recreate that same magic. They're definitely capable. It's just about putting it into execution after making a couple of adjustments and bouncing back. And I always think that it's better to have a loss like this now than in the knockout stages. So in some ways I don't mind it, where I've recently had the opinion in the last couple of years that, there's this kind of feeling of every loss is bad and every win is good. I don't necessarily feel that way. I think in the knockout stages, in any sport, cricket or otherwise, it is like that. But I think in the regular season, or in the group stages, in this case with the World Cup, for cricket or in any other sport, you can afford a loss or two, as long as you learn from it and make those adjustments. So that way, everything is ready, everyone's ready and locked in and playing their best at the right time, which is the knockout stages or the playoffs or whatever it may be. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. No games today, but we've got a couple more games coming up on Tuesday. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, New Zealand, Scotland, Ireland, Sri Lanka, and then Australia, Pakistan. So, and then a really good match on Wednesday. Yeah, England, West Indies, and then India and South Africa both play on Thursday. South Africa actually plays the Netherlands, not Bangladesh, excuse me, because looks like, yeah, they had already played them and beaten them in a routine win. One of the more chalk favorite type results that happened in the tournament. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. And yeah, that's all I had. Appreciate you guys for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on post notifications, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.